What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Big Fight Field channel, where we speak the truth, we're honest, we give our takes on the Miami Dolphins. It is Friday, October 13th. All you Friday the 13th fans, all up in arms. Oh my God. It's Friday the 13th, October 13th. To me, it's not Friday the 13th, even though technically it is the 13th. It is Fins Up Friday. And ladies and gentlemen, I am on such a high after last night and the Philadelphia Phillies knocking out the Atlanta Braves in the NLDS and moving on to the National League Championship Series, where they are 4 wins away from going back to the World Series. How incredible is that, man? How incredible is that? If you're a Philadelphia sports fan, if you're a Phillies fan, you got to be loving time right now. So last night, incredible. And it was a great transition into Fins Up Friday because the Miami Dolphins have a game this weekend. And I'm not going to lie to you guys, man. This honestly feels like a preseason game that we have this week against the Carolina Panthers. You just look at this matchup, and it's so overmatched. You look at Carolina's team and how they started the season. They're off to a really rough start. It's an absolute disaster in that organization right now. Then you look at the Miami Dolphins. Started off the season 4-1. Tua Tagovailoa is the MVP of the NFL. Tyreek Hill's the Offensive Player of the Year right now in the NFL. Even though we lost Devon Achane for a couple weeks, this Dolphins offense is clicking. The defense, I'm hoping, gets better. And everything is going well right now for the Miami Dolphins on the most part. You look at this matchup, it is so overmatched. It is incredibly overmatched. This feels like a preseason game. Like, okay, let's go in there. Let's get our reps. Let's take care of business. And let's get our starters out in the beginning of the fourth quarter. I'm not going on record saying I'm overlooking the Carolina Panthers because I know for sure that Mike McDaniel and the Miami Dolphins are not looking over the Carolina Panthers. So I'm not going to either. But what I am saying is you should absolutely handle your business against this team. This team has no business being on the same field as you. Okay? They don't. All their road games this season, they've got blown out. Blown out by the Falcons, blown out by the Seattle Seahawks, and they got blown out by the Lions last week, who were missing Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. And Miami's not going to have Devon Achane for a couple weeks, but, their offense is still amazing and capable enough to do what they need to do against this Carolina Panthers team. So we're going to dive in to this preview, the Dolphins and the Panthers this week in just a little bit. But thank you guys if you're joining me today. And if you have not already, man, we're going to get right into it. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already, be sure to go ahead, check out my video that I made on Tuesday about Devon Achane. On Wednesday, it was announced that he is going on IR for 4 weeks. So right now we have Jalen Ramsey, Teron Armstead, and Devon Achane on IR. And I cannot wait for when those guys return. Because when all 3 of those guys return, basically the entire team is back together, hopefully, regarding any injuries, okay? Sounds like wood. It's not, but that's my impression of knocking on wood, okay? That's more like it. If you haven't already, be sure to go check out that video and also Week 6 NFL predictions. So, we're going to dive right into this. I honestly, if I'm being honest with you guys, I don't have much to say about this game. We are going to talk about it because I want to do a preview for you guys every single week. But I don't have much to say about this game. Let's get into the injury report here. We'll start with the Panthers first. Actually, you know what? We'll start with the Dolphins first because the Panthers have a laundry list of guys on the injury report. For the Dolphins, the only guy not playing on Sunday is Connor Williams. It seems like he re-aggravated his groin this week. He didn't practice on Wednesday. He didn't practice on Thursday. And he did not practice today. And he's out on Sunday against the Panthers. Rest him up. Liam Eichenberg. It's going to suck that we're going to have to watch a full game of Liam Eichenberg again, but I don't care. You should beat this team with or without Connor Williams. If Liam Eichenberg is slacking and he's terrible and he's not protecting Tua and the Panthers are getting pressure to Tua, man, I don't know. I'm going to go on a tangent on Sunday if that happens. So Connor Williams is not playing. Nick Needham and Jeff Wilson are both doubtful on Sunday. And then we have Alec Ingold, Robert Jones, and Jalen Phillips all questionable. AVG is playing really good football right now, but I want to see Jalen Phillips on the field. The man really hasn't played live football. I mean, he played the Broncos game, but he played a half of the Broncos game. We haven't really seen a full game of Jalen Phillips since the Los Angeles Chargers week 1. And I feel like he needs to get out on that field before we start playing good offenses like the Eagles and the Chiefs. And we're going to need that pressure for Jalen Phillips. And I don't want him being rusty against those teams. So that's the Dolphins injury report. Robert Hunt was listed. He did not. He was limited on Thursday with a knee, but Mike McDaniel said it was just a checkup. He's going to be good to go on Sunday. Then we look at the Panthers. They got a laundry list of names here. Safety Von Bell is out. Guard Austin Corbett is out. Tight end Giovanni Ricci is out. Running back Miles Sanders is out. Safety Xavier Woods is out. Guard Chandler Zavala is out. And then we have two big names that are questionable this week, both on the defensive line for the Panthers, and they are Derek Brown and Brian Burns. That is big because they were both limited on Wednesday. Then they both didn't practice on Thursday. Then Brown was limited today. Burns was full practice. And they're both questionable. So my guess is they're going to get pregame workouts, see how they're feeling. Even if one of those guys are out for the Panthers, that's a big deal. That is a big deal. If you can eliminate one of those guys and one of them's not playing, that's big. Because, again, Derek Brown going up against Liam Eichenberg. Advantage Derek Brown. So, let's get into this game real quick. Let's get into it. We will start with the Carolina Panthers offense against the Dolphins defense. And last week, the Dolphins defense allowed 9 points to Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. I think this week should be no exception. I think the Dolphins defense should go in there. They should dominate. Vic Fangio, draw up some crazy plays to confuse Bryce Young. That's exactly what I think is going to happen. I think Fangio is going to go in there, and Bryce Young, who's off to a rough start, and I know he's young, but he is it's a disaster around him right now. Miles Sanders, who's not playing on Sunday, has not been good for the Panthers this year. He hasn't lived up to expectations. Their number one wide receiver is Adam Thielen, but Adam Thielen, he's getting up there in age. He's not the same Adam Thielen as he used to be. Then you have Jonathan Mingo. You have DJ Shark. They have Hayden Hurst, who has been very quiet this year. And then they have a bad offensive line. They do have a really bad offensive line outside of Taylor Martin, and I'm pretty sure he's going to play on Sunday. So that's going to be a matchup for Bradley Chubb or Jalen Phillips or AVG, whoever is going to be on that side of the football. So you look at the Panthers, they are the 23rd best defense. They're the 23rd overall defense in the NFL, and they gave up 294 yards per game. The Miami Dolphins are the 23rd ranked defense. They give up 353 yards per game. The Carolina Panthers are 17th in the passing game with 222 passing yards per game. The Miami Dolphins are 21st with 258 passing yards per game allowed to the opposing team. The Panthers' running game is ranked 21st with 96 yards per game. Again, Miles Sanders, a huge impact on that. He's been a ghost for the Panthers this year. And then the Dolphins' run defense is ranked 18th with 115 yards per game given up. And if it wasn't for that game week 1 against the Chargers where they ran the ball down our throat, the Dolphins would probably be in the top 10 when it comes to I'm sorry I'm yawning a lot, by the way. I'm tired. Very long day. The Dolphins are 18th. If it wasn't for that game against the Chargers where they allowed 234 rushing yards, they would be in the top 10 right now. Now, again, I already stated this, but this should be just like last week for the Dolphins defense. You have an offense in the Carolina Panthers who is struggling. They are not good. And every road game they've played in this year has been a blowout. And Bryce Young has not looked great. Now, Bryce Young, I said, he's not the only issue. He is an issue, but he's not the only issue for the Carolina Panthers right now. Their running game is not good. They don't have weapons. Adam Thielen is their number one receiver. So I'm guessing they're going to put Xavier Howard on Adam Thielen because that's what I would do. And in his last 2 games against the Buffalo Bills and the New York Giants, Xavier Howard has allowed 5 catches for 56 yards. Man is playing really good right now, and he should have guarded Stephon Diggs when we played the Bills. Put Xavier Howard on Adam Thielen and let him be on his own island. Let him lock up Adam Thielen for this game because I do think that X could he has the capability to lock up the number 1 receiver for the Carolina Panthers, and their offensive line is not good. And the Dolphins last week, they got 7 sacks on Daniel Jones and Tyrod Taylor for the Giants. They got 7 sacks, which is very good with me. Again, I don't know if Jalen Phillips is going to play or not this week. I hope he does because I want to see him on there. I don't want him to be rusty going into a big game next week. So I want to see him on there. But that this is a matchup where I believe, even though the Dolphins defense are having a bad season so far, I believe that this defense overpowers the Panthers' offense. Now, let's get into my keys for the defense this game. And my number 1 key is put the game in the hands of Bryce Young. And what do I mean by that? I mean stop the running game if you can, which I believe they're going to. Their starting running back with Miles Sanders out is going to be Chuba Hubbard, who has experience, 3rd season in the NFL. Chuba Hubbard is going to be their starting running back. So you stop Chuba Hubbard, which I mean doesn't sound difficult at all. put the game in the hands of Bryce Young. Vic Fangio dialing up those confusing blitzes. Vic Fangio getting in ahead of Bryce Young, and it should be a wraps. It should be a wrap. This defense would dominate with that. So stopping the run is key. Getting pressure to Bryce Young. Okay. Getting pressure to Bryce Young with the defensive front. Christian Wilkins, Zach Zeeler, Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, Roquan Davis, Andrew Van Ginkel. Their offensive line is not good, okay? Again, just like the Giants' offensive line, they're not worse than the Giants, but they do have a bad offensive line, and, they're getting picked apart. We're at the point where defensive linemen like Aiden Hutchinson are getting interceptions. So take advantage of that bad offensive line and get pressure to the young rookie quarterback. Make him scramble for his life. Make him confused. And then let's get home to Bryce Young. And then the third and final thing, no dumb penalties. What do I mean by that is we're going to be 3rd and 7, say, and we get a stop, but there's a holding call, and it's a blatant, obvious call. We cannot have those penalties. We cannot afford to keep the Carolina Panthers in this game like we did the New York Giants last week. We handled the Giants, but we also kept the Giants in that game. It should not have been that close, and we won by 15 points. That game should not have been 31-16. It should have been more of likely 35-6, okay? So, no stupid penalties this week. And I think this is a good matchup for this defense before they have a really difficult matchup next week against Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles. That is going to be a big test and a test that I'm actually scared of. A little bit. They're a good team, man. They're a great team. I respect Philly. I love Philly. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's go Panthers, defense, Dolphins, offense. The Panthers have the 13th ranked defense in the NFL. They got a banged up secondary, though. J.C. Horn is still on IR. Like I said, they have Brian Burns, they have Derek Brown, but outside of that, they don't really have much threats at defensive line. They got Justin Houston, but Justin Houston's not great. Dante Jackson's not having a great season. Von Bell is out. Xavier Woods is out. So they got both of their starting safeties out. Okay? They're going to have Sam Franklin in there for Xavier Woods, and they're going to have Jamie Robinson, a rookie from Florida State, in replacing Von Bell. Boy, oh boy, I can't wait to talk about that. And then they have C.J. Henderson in for J.C. Horn. So they have basically backups in the secondary outside of Dante Jackson, who's not having a great season. Panthers 13th ranked overall defense. Miami Dolphins first overall offense in the NFL. 513 yards per game. The Panthers allow 325 yards per game on defense. The Panthers passing defense is ranked 6th in the NFL. 204 yards per game given up. The Miami Dolphins pass offense is first. 336 yards per game in the air. And the Panthers' run defense is ranked 26th. 140 yards given up per game. The Miami Dolphins, first in the run game on offense with 185 yards per game on the ground. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you why the Panthers are ranked 6th in pass defense, and it's not because they have an elite secondary at all. It's because every time they've played on the road this season, they get blown out. And when you're getting blown out late in the game, teams are going to run the ball down your throat, try to run the clock out, and they're still picking up big yardage. So that's why their run defense sucks, and their passing defense is sixth in the NFL. So the fact that it has a 6 next to their passing defense, it doesn't make me scared at all, okay? It doesn't make me scared because the Miami Dolphins are number 1. And Tua Tagovailoa is going to sling that thing. And the fact that the Carolina Panthers have 2 backup safeties this week, oh man, I'm chomping. I'm chomping at the bit, man. Tyreek Hill is going to have a great game. Jalen Waddle is going to have a great game. I hope he goes over 100 yards. Braxton Berrios might even have a good game. Raheem Mostert might have a good game in the passing game. I'm chomping at the bit, man. Let's get into the keys. I pretty much just got into my first one. Take advantage of the backup safeties. The Carolina Panthers don't have their free safety Von Bell, and they don't have their strong safety Xavier Woods. So now they got 2 backups in there going up with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. Man, burn those corners, and it's toast. It is toast. Take advantage, okay? Take advantage of those backup safeties with Von Bell and Xavier Woods not playing this week. So that is my first takeaway from this for the offense of the Miami Dolphins. So you would think that I'm going to say throw the ball in this game. Well, number 2, run the ball as well. If Brian Burns and Derek Brown both play, they're easily the 2 best players on their defense. You want to know how to prevent those 2 guys getting after Tua Tagovailoa? Run the ball. They're ranked 26th in the NFL. Run the ball with Raheem Mostert. Run the ball with Savon Ahmed. And if he gets a chance, run the ball with Chris Brooks as well. Hopefully we will see a bunch of Chris Brooks in the 4th quarter for the Miami Dolphins. So run the ball as well. Get a good balance in there. But, when you have the opportunities to throw the ball, if you get a good running game going, man, it's going to give you opportunities to go deep to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. And I have every confidence in the world against that Carolina Panthers secondary. So, again, like I said, the reason they're ranked 6th in passing defense is because teams are blowing them out on the road. And they're running the ball late in the game to kill time and run the clock out. And then my last key for the offense, protect Tua Tagovailoa. I'm talking to you, Liam Eichenberg. You're going to be playing center on Sunday. Connor Williams is out. I don't want to have a heart attack during this game because you're letting defenders blow by you, and my quarterback is getting smoked, okay? And that's what happened against the Buffalo Bills. My man couldn't even pick up a blocker when he was playing center against the Bills. Now, the Panthers are no Buffalo Bills, but, man, pick up someone, fucking block them. Don't let them get by you. He's so bad. And if he sucks on Sunday and he keeps the Carolina Panthers in this game, we are going to have a problem after the post-game recap video. We're going to have a problem. So that's the number 3 key, is to protect Tua Tagovailoa. And it's not Liam Eichenberg. It's mostly for Liam Eichenberg, but for everybody as well. Protect Tua. Let him get the ball to his receivers. So, what is my prediction for Sunday's game? Carolina Panthers are 0-5. The Miami Dolphins are 4-1. Our favorite commentator in the entire NFL, Kevin Harlan, is going to be on the call. The Miami Dolphins are 14-point favorites over the Carolina Panthers. This should be a no-brainer win for the Miami Dolphins. My goal for this game, and this is not to be rude to the Carolina Panthers, this is not to mock the Carolina Panthers, this is not to be disrespectful for the Carolina Panthers, but the Miami Dolphins are a far superior team than they are. So my goal for this game is to get a big lead after the third quarter and have our starters resting up in the fourth quarter. I want to see Mike White play in this game. I want to see Mike White in this game. I want to see Tua chilling on the bench, chopping it up with McDaniel, laughing with Tyreek Hill on the sidelines after cracking a couple jokes. All right? Get a big enough lead. Let's get out of there with an easy W against the Carolina Panthers. So, that's my preview. Dolphins-Panthers, Sunday, 1 o'clock. I will be back here Sunday after the game for the post-game recap video. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Sunday, post-game recap video. We'll be back Sunday, hopefully after a Miami Dolphins victory over the Panthers and a chance to go 5-1 for the first time in over 20 years. It's right there in front of us, man. Let's go get it. Comment down below if you're a Dolphins fan or you're a Carolina Panthers fan. Leave a comment down below. I want to know your thoughts going into this game. Hit the like button if you like what you heard from me. Follow me on Twitter at Colin_Joseph, and I will see you guys on Sunday. Have a good night. Stay safe. And as always, stay classy. And I'm out. Peace and fins up.